Cognitive Gamer, have you ever noticed that the beginning of our podcast sounds an awful lot like the humming thing that they always do in Community?
What's the humming thing? Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. That one?
No. Now I will send it to you. Wait a second. It's called Daybreak.
It does kind of sound like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's part of my week. I've been rewatching it because I showed my friend who's living with me, who I also went on a date with this week. And
ooh, wait, are we recording or is this still?
No, we're recording. And it's part of my week, and I showed her Community, and she loves it for good reason because Community's awesome. So
yeah, I have to show Lady Glitz and Tits that. So
Lady Glitz and Tits. I'm glad that we're slowly coalescing names together into one big ball of a name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
you should play the intro song just for comparison right now.
Play both of them? Yeah, go for it. Intro song time.
Okay.
There you go, that's it.
Kind of.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. Alright, cue the Community one.
Are you gonna start the podcast?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's... Here, you want to hear it? Here, let's just listen to us.
What the hell you're doing?
I wish I could do cartoon voices. Instead you don't, man.
Can we
It's
just
just
say
got
that
meta.
you...
But yeah, anyway, apart from the song sounding like that, and the date that I went on this week, apart from that...
So, what happened on the date?
Apart from that, this episode is the 49th. The next week is going to be... It's big.
The 69th episode. Wait.
What? You jumped the number of them. But yes, so it's the big 5-0. It's between 1 and 100. It's enormous. That is the location of that number.
It's between... The median of 100 and 1 is 50. Therefore...
The median of it is 50 if we assume that there's one number in 1, one number in 2, one number in 3, all the way up to 100. Then it's the median.
Yeah, that's... If there was 100 episodes, the median episode of those 100 episodes would be 50.
Would be 50, yes.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, no, wait a second.
It would be 50.
Wait. This is
God.
technically speaking the 50th episode, and I'll tell you why. Because we recorded a 12.5 episode when we talked about Old Boy. So
that doesn't count. I think we have to do something special for the 50th, so let's not throw it away on this piece of shit we're recording right now.
You are right. We are going to do something special on the 50th. All right.
So listen in. There might be a giveaway.
Yeah.
Where you get, something cool. Write in to PostGrad entertainment@gmail.com with suggestions. If you want to be on the show, let us know.
Yeah, just
this week.
Something crazy. Yeah.
This week. So you went on a date. How's the date?
Yeah, it was good actually.
Is she pregnant yet?
No, not yet. Crossing.
Is his name Steve?
No. So we went. Actually, the way that we did it was we went to a very nice sort of Middle Eastern restaurant, which had really great food. And then we went from there to the Fine Arts Movie Cafe, and we watched one of the movies that I'm going to be talking about in theaters. So, it was a good date. It was awesome. I would like to think she enjoyed it.
Have you hit that?
Have I hit that? I will not answer that on air. So the answer is no.
Have you hit that? Have you hit that?
Point is, we might have her on the show at some point, but she likes really terrible movies, and that's okay.
God, she does! Holy shit, I hope she's listening right now, so she knows how much I hate the movie selection that she hurt. Alright, I'm back.
Oh, man.
At least Glitz and Tits. Her movie selection is whatever I tell her.
Wait, did she...
Which is usually make me a sandwich before I... I'm just kidding. She cut my sack off as she heard that.
Thank God she doesn't listen to this, right?
Yeah, well, she doesn't, so that's depressing. I think she listens to 1 out of every 50 episodes, so we'll check back.
It's all right. There's people that listen to us. There's literally dozens of them.
There's dozens of us. Do you listen to that podcast, PostGrad Movies? No, what the fuck is that? There's dozens of us.
Dozens of us.
Dozens that enjoy this garbage.
Oh my god. But yeah, so I did that, and it was really nice. She's a very nice girl, and I really enjoy it, and hopefully I will be able to give better news later on, because right now I took her on a date, first date. Second date comes later, and then I will ask her out. I'm a very traditional sort of person.
First comes the first date, and then the second date, and then I will ask her out.
Right, exactly. But I'm not before calling her milady, because I am a gentleman.
Your neckbeard is fierce.
Exactly, yes. But I think the most important thing that happened this week is the fact that we did not get visited by our future selves. So we have successfully repeated the experiment that Stephen Hawking proposed to show that time travel backwards in time is not possible, where he invited everyone from the future to come visit him at a party at a specific time, and no one came. It might be because he's a bad host, but probably it's because time travel doesn't work, and we just proved it right now. Time travel doesn't work, and we didn't visit ourselves from the future,
God's
giving
not dead.
ourselves reviews of stuff. God's not dead.
But Nymphomaniac is still terrible.
Volume 2.
All of them.
What did you do this week?
Oh, I have a great joke for you. You ready?
No. Oh, God. What?
It's a knock-knock joke, but I need you to start. So, please.
No. I'm not doing this because I know what this joke is.
Come on, man!
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
You're an asshole.
You're an asshole who?
What?
Now, let's just go back to episode 46.
Oh my
Hold
God.
on. In kind of a way, we're meeting our past selves.
What are you doing?
Almost, because it's about growing up in the 90s, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, that, it's supposed to invoke nostalgia, and I will for, various ages, but I actually grew up in...
Alright, I'm the cognitive gamer, and I'm here at Cool Guy.
What is even happening right now?
And this is PostGrad Movies.
Oh my God. How was your week? Just tell me about your stupid week.
So Destiny came out last week.
Oh my God.
Fucking playing it. I'm so addicted. I'm level 24, so.
Oh, really?
Still, I haven't played in the last week, apparently. So. Okay, I got.
Are you okay? Do you need to catch a breather?
So oh my God. I got back into League of Legends, which is unfortunate for my GPA. I also threw a party, which turned out really well. It was a lot of fun until midnight rolled around, upon which 5 really drunk people showed up to my house.
Oh.
And then I went from host to babysitter in a matter of seconds.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's weird when you have people come to your place just to vomit, which is what it was.
So your house was one giant toilet for them, is what you're saying.
Well, luckily it was outside, so I feel bad for my neighbors. I feel bad for everybody involved. But before that, it was an awesome party. And after that, it's really weird when people come to your house just to cry.
The story is just getting better and better. I love that you're adding the layers to it. Please go on.
Because that's what drunk people do, is either vomit or cry. And in this case, that's what they did. So
I love that there's 2 choices for it. Or tell you that they love you. That's also...
It's really weird when somebody comes over at midnight just to tell you that they love you. And that's... Yeah, not me personally, but...
Okay, so I had this friend in high school who... One time she got drunk, and I don't know if it was the first time she got drunk or not, but she basically started running around apologizing to everyone for stuff that had happened years before that no one remembered. And she would just stop random people, and she would just grab them and go like, I am so sorry that I took your pen when we were in 3rd grade, and I never gave it back. And she would just start sobbing onto the person's chest.
Yeah, that reminds me of... No, I haven't had anything like that. I do remember I went to a party, and there's this kid passed out on the floor from salvia, and he was smoking salvia, and he just started crying and reaching for the air, and he was like, "It's so beautiful, it's so beautiful." And I did Grandpa Simpson with that party. I literally walked in, turned around, and left. I just like, okay, I'm out of here. What the fuck?
Oh my god. No,
So,
there's some parties like that. Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I already told the lampshade story from you, so that's honestly one of my favorite drunk stories ever.
Man, I keep telling people that we had a band, by the way.
Because we did.
I know,
It's not our fault that our drummer ran away when we were starting to get gigs.
like legit gigs, not just weird house parties.
Yeah, like we had like 30 gigs lined up or something, and then he bailed, didn't he?
We had a couple gigs. We had an agent-ish thing. But I mean, there are so many other layers to that story now.
Oh yeah.
Blows my mind that we're not gonna
get into that, but yeah, there's
like we actually had a band? Question mark? I miss Parker, man.
Yeah.
I really miss Parker.
Parker is awesome.
Like he was the one person over the summer I wanted to see that I wasn't able to see.
Okay.
If that makes sense. He has weird work hours and he's really far away, and I was super busy this summer. Like every weekend I was at a wedding or I was at a family event or something. So I didn't actually have a lot of time for friends this summer, which really sucked. I mean, I got engaged, so I mean that happened.
That's true. Yeah. You were kind of focused on other things.
Right.
Anyway, how was your week apart from the playing Destiny and League of Legends and stuff?
And drunk people?
Yeah.
It's really weird when somebody comes over at midnight just to tell you that your shirt's ugly. But drunk people tend to do this.
Drunk people tend to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
so for example, we have one of the listeners who I really hope he's listening to this right now, and he will get drunk and just listen to the podcast and tell us about it. It's really funny. It's actually really, really funny.
There's three of us. That's how he gets through the podcast, is that he has to drink. It's really unfortunate.
Basically, yeah. He just drinks, listens to the podcast, and then goes like, "Yep, that movie was garbage," or "Cognitive Gamer is saying something stupid right now." Or he live texts me the podcast.
That's actually amazing. Another thing is that I have no money. I literally have not been paid. So I made I called my mom and I'm like, "Yo, I don't have money. Just letting you know.
I need to live." So
I had enough money for like some chicken nuggets and enough water to fill the bathtub to drown myself. So please God, I can't even afford electricity to drop a toaster. So she gave me some money. and now I can kill myself more efficiently. I'm just kidding. I'm not suicidal, and suicide's not funny. But in this case, it is.
Quite possibly the best joke you've ever made on the podcast, and I'm going to give you a round of applause right now, because that was amazing. Slow clap for you.
Oh, I had a crazy incident at the writing center.
That just sounds like the nerdiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
So, at the writing center, I'm a writing tutor, and this kid walked in, and he was a little bit off, and he pretty much just dropped off, like, during the meeting. He was like, "All right, I want to edit this. I want to get it from 8 pages to 6 pages." I'm like, "Cool. What we'll do, we'll read it over together. I want you to read it out loud, and then I'll critique it afterwards." And then he's like, "I'm not reading it out loud." And obviously, he might have had, like, a speech impediment or something, so I didn't push it. I was like, "Okay, I'll read it out loud, and we'll work on it together." And he's like, "Cool, yeah." So I start reading it out loud. As soon as I say, like, the first word, he gets up and leaves.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he gets up and leaves and goes to the computer next to me and just starts watching a YouTube video. And I'm like, this kid must have had something, like, mentally off. Like, I'm not making fun of him. I was just very stunned.
Right.
And then he came back, and I'm like, okay. So I edited a couple pages, and I'm like, "Look, man, next time you come in here, you will have to be here when I go through the critiquing. Here's what I did. This is why I did it." And then he's like, "Oh, this is a group project." And I'm like, whoa. You cannot bring group projects in here by yourself. You have to have the group project. I'm pretty sure he was just trying to pawn off his assignment to me.
Yeah, right.
So apparently he came back a couple days later, and he got verbally violent with the tutor.
Oh, wow.
So I was called in to be like, "So what did you tell this kid?" I was like, oh my god. So yeah, it's not funny, and you could probably cut it because it's not funny. I just wanted to let you know.
No, that's crazy. I'm not gonna cut it. That's crazy though.
But I mean, I feel bad bringing it up because something obviously was mentally wrong with this kid. But at the same time, he could have just been completely, like, I don't know, you know.
And even if there was something mentally wrong, I mean, it's something that happens, you know.
Yeah.
Like it happened. Why would we cut it? No way. No.
I don't understand people. If you have an assignment, just do your assignment. Don't.
Yeah, I know. And then, like, now being a TA and stuff, the amount of people that try and contact you the day before is astonishing. You have no idea.
Peer mentorship.
You have
no. I do know an idea. Remember when we were peer mentors?
That's true. Yeah. No, but
I remember this kid who this class, you literally just had to turn in like 3 things, or just come to the class and you got an A.
Yeah.
Like it was really easy.
Exactly.
He failed. He failed this class.
Really? You had one of your students that failed?
Yeah. He never came to class. He didn't turn in anything. I didn't know what to do.
I was really impressed because one of my students almost got a B, and I was about to say that's saying something.
Yeah, this kid, he either failed or was really close to failing, so he definitely did not get above a C.
Damn, that's crazy. But right now, it's like I'm teaching 2 lab sections, and I know that some of the other TAs, like, stuff is going down or something, and they go like, do you have any questions? Let me know before the next lab. And then the day before the lab, everyone's asking questions and freaking out about a quiz or something.
Well, they could have just turned in one of their magic coins.
There is literally a kid that arrives to ask questions during the last 5 minutes of office hours about the quiz that they're going to give in the beginning of lab 2 hours later.
What's wrong with that?
What you had the entire weekend to study for the quiz. You know it's going to be on the quiz, and it's basically the TA just pointing at the titles, at like the black bolded titles, saying that one, that there's a question about that one, that next one, there's also a question about that next one, and that's every single week. It just going down the titles of everything that says prokaryotes or plants or bryophytes, and it's like there's going to be a question about bryophytes. Bryophytes are going to be in there. There's a question about ferns, that title. There's a question about ferns. What's the next one? Yep, there's a question about that as well. It's every single week.
So what are bryophytes?
I'm not going to get into this. So
is that like when a frat boy named Brian gets in a fight? Is it a Brian fight?
No. But my question is, do you hate yourself?
Who, me?
Yes. Do you go to sleep at night and think that you did a good job during the day and then recall all of the terrible puns you made and go to sleep knowing and smiling? Or do you, like, die a little inside every day knowing that you imparted this type of punitude on other people?
Ooh, you said punitude, so I am not the one. I sleep like a baby. You should know this. Oh my god, I had a dream last night. I was Rob Stark, and I was... So, I mean, that just proves how deep of a sleep I am in.
It does. Oh my god. But yeah, anyway, so one last thing before we get into the actual stuff we're going to talk about. So
I have one more thing, too.
Okay, so. You do your thing first, and I'll do mine. Go for it.
I also went Halloween costume shopping.
Oh.
Because my roommate's really into Halloween, so she wants to get it, like, right away. You know how hard it is for, like, a bigger Latino man to look at costumes and be like, yeah, I could be Fat Batman. I could be a fat doctor. You literally have to go to every costume and say, I will be the fat version of this.
No,
I'll be Fat Wolverine. I can't be Jon Snow, I have to be Sam. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no...
You've been watching a lot of Game of Thrones, haven't you?
I'll be Fat Woody from Toy Story. It sucks! It just sucks. I can't be what I want to be. Unless I have to put fat version in front of it.
And what do you want to be?
I don't know. I'd rather be... There are no husky Latino men in media. There's not. Name one superhero that's, like, broad-shouldered and Latino.
There is no such thing as a fat superhero, except for Mr. Incredible. You could be Mr. Incredible.
Like, that's fucking bullshit.
And the Thing. You could be the Thing.
Shut up. A Thing would actually work out pretty well.
That's why I say it. Broad-shouldered, unibrow, you got it covered.
I have to fucking be a mutant. And not an X-Men mutant. No. I have to be literally, like, I could be Hellboy. Yeah?
You could be Hellboy, yeah.
I have to be, so I can't be a human. I have to be some kind of disfigured,
Monster.
broad-shouldered monster. But seriously, like, name one character from media, from video games even, that I could be.
No one.
Fuck exactly. I found one costume that worked for me, and I found a couple, but one was a caveman. Like, yeah, I could be a caveman. That works.
You could also be any of the characters from, like, Shaun of the Dead.
I could be.
You could be.
I could be Simon Pegg.
No, you can't be Simon Pegg.
Are you saying I could be Nick Frost?
You could be Nick Frost, and I could be Simon Pegg.
You're a fucking asshole. The Mexican version.
The Latino version of Nick Frost.
That's Simon Pegg. Seaman Pig and whatever the Mexican version of Nick is. Nico Frost.
Nicolas.
Nicolas.
Nicolas Frio.
Okay. I could have been a sperm. That was another one. Seriously.
Like, it's funny because female costumes are sexy something, sexy the other, and male costumes are, this is funny, right, guys?
Right? Yeah, it's awful. They had one that was literally just Mexican, and it was a poncho. And I'm like, God, this is offensive and a waste of money.
All of the costumes, basically every costume that you can possibly buy is a waste of money.
Why is there a Mexican costume, but I cannot go and buy, like, a Jewish costume? I can't be a rabbi?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can?
I've seen rabbis, yes.
Right. How about this? I can't go there and get. I guess you're right. There's a lot of. But for some reason, the Mexican one is really offensive. There's no African one.
Yes,
I can't go buy. This is just unfortunate for everybody.
There's everything.
Why is the Mexican one most offensive?
There's every single culture.
But maybe it was because of the store. It literally only had Mexican, and that was it.
That's like the stock that most stores carry.
I'd have to special order anything not Mexican.
All right, but anyway. So my thing is the fact that I told two of the TAs about the stuff that I was doing because they asked, because I walked into the TA room thing or whatever, the offices, and I approached one of the other TAs that teaches labs that I know, and I said, hey, can you take this folder and stick it in between the roots of that tree over there? And the TA was like, why? And I said, don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. And it was just a manila envelope that had the number 25 written on the front, and that was it. And he tried to look through it, and all he saw, because I had cut up a little rectangle that had a bunch of, like, letters that were shifted. It was a Caesarean shift of a cipher, and I had ciphered a word, and then
you have no time.
And then
you have no life.
And then did
you know that?
And then I included a key in it, so it was a key and deciphered stuff. So he tried to look through the envelope, and he didn't know what it was. He just didn't know what it was, and he was like, I want an answer to this. And I said, put it over there and let me know. And he took it over, came back. I told him what was going on with the whole National Treasure thing. And they were impressed, and they were like, you have a lot of faith in your students. And I said, yes, I do. And they were like, I don't think this is going to work. And I said, trust me, it's going to work. And then they left, and like an hour later, all of a sudden they sent me a video where they were videoing the roots of the tree, and they were like, dude, look, someone's going over there. Oh my god, she's taking it. She went right forward and she took it. Like, and they were so impressed. And they stopped me the next day and they said, I can't believe it. You have no idea how much I couldn't believe that one of the students walked up directly to where the roots were and picked up the envelope and walked away. And I think I blew their minds.
What, are you making a geocache out of a class?
No, I'm making a National Treasure style hunting game for clues kind of thing. Like, this next step.
They might be listening.
Oh, that's true.
Right. Yeah.
That's okay. I'll give them this one. Let's see. So different microscopes this time around have like a math equation thing, a really crazy cool design. It's a logo, and they have it identifying 3 different microscopes, and then under each of those microscopes is a number. So like number 1, and then it gives a little equation on the bottom that you solve by sticking the number of the microscope in the equation. And all of that gives you a Dewey Decimal number for a book in the library that when they open it up to a specific page, there's numbers circled, and then it has like a cutout of a weird symbol. And yeah, it's awesome. What? It's fantastic.
This is just gross.
Why is it gross?
I think infinitely inventive, and maybe I'm jealous.
If they make it to the end, I really hope they make it to the end. Because if they make it to the end, I'm going to be really impressed and really proud of them, and it's going to be awesome.
You should make them listen to the podcast for a clue.
That would actually be really...
You should have shameless self-promotion.
That would be really cool, actually. Yeah, like have a QR code that leads to the podcast. Yeah, that would make sense.
Like a QR code that leads to the podcast, and then like at the end of the podcast, you have like some weird transcription, like Frog Fraction style.
Me, wah, me.
Speaking of which, what's up with Frog Fractions 2?
Nothing much, actually, from what I know. But anyway, we're running late on time because we're talking about a lot of stuff. So anyway, moving on, we are going into theaters. So when I went out on the date, or when I took this lovely lady out on a date, who you all should meet at some point, we went to see a movie called Walking with the Enemy. And on IMDb, it's got a 5.6. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 44 with a 28% off critic score. And on Metacritic, it's got a 44%. It is directed by Mark Schmidt, and it stars Jonas Armstrong, Ben Kingsley, Hannah Twinton, Simon Kunz, Simon Dutton, Bern Gorman, Shane Taylor, William Hope, and Flora Spencer Longhurst. And the movie, if you haven't heard of it, the movie was in fine arts, so it was a kind of movie. And it has to do with this one person called Elik, and he was a Hungarian man. He was a Hungarian man in World War II. And when Germany invaded Hungary, he accidentally, basically, or in self-defense, killed 2 Nazi SS soldiers. And he took their clothing, and he pretended to be an SS soldier, and he started freeing Jews. So he was going to meetings, he was pretending that he had documents that showed that the Fuhrer wanted these many Jews to be taken to this labor camp, and they weren't real. It was a giant sting operation, basically, over and over again, to try and save all of these groups of Jewish people, which is awesome. And my one sentence review is, I don't think that it is as bad as the criticisms make it out to be, like the 44% on Rotten Tomatoes or 5.6 on IMDb. I think it's a little bit higher. I would put it at around like a 70% or so. It's a pretty decent movie. I think the reason why I'll put it that high is because, one, it was really interesting. And it was really cool, because I had never heard of that story before, and that he's a decorated war hero, he survived. And another reason why I will put it that high is because it was just so refreshing. It was so refreshing to see a World War II movie that wasn't centered around Americans.
Or about Brad Pitt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was just so nice to not have it be about Americans. It was just...
Well, did you ever see The Counterfeiter? They came out...
The Counterfeiter? No, what's that?
It was about, so the Nazi organization had a secret counterfeiting unit. Right. So essentially it was about one of the counterfeiters and how he gamed the system to actually steal all the money from the Nazis, and he stole like millions of dollars.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It was a really good movie, and I think he was German or something.
Awesome.
I saw, that was when I was in high school, because I saw it with with the whale, so...
By the whale, he means his ex-girlfriend, who, in fact, was
She totally was not a whale.
Trust me, I'm a biologist.
That's fucking stupid.
It was one of those
the only type of whale she is now is a sperm whale.
Oh! So anyway...
She has a big blowhole, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god, we're done. So yeah, it was... Let me give you a one-sentence review for this movie before you make any more semen jokes about your ex-girlfriend. So
what? What do you mean?
So basically,
she might listen to this, and if she is, fuck you. I'm just kidding.
So anyway,
but seriously.
So the one sentence review for Walking with the Enemy.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is like a really serious movie.
Yeah. So my one sentence review would be thrilling at a lot of points, poignant at a lot of other points, but sometimes it did drag on and or fall flat in very specific instances. It's not like it was a whole scene that fell flat. It was just specific moments that didn't hit what they should have hit. But overall, it was good. And I think that this movie is one of
the few movies that I've seen, at least in recent memory, that have to do with World War II, where they showed the veracity and the cold-heartedness of the Nazis. Because this movie pulled all the stops. Like, it was no holds barred, but by that I don't mean that they showed gore and stuff when people got shot or anything like that. It was a lot like Saw, where they didn't show Saw the first one, where they didn't show
I got that.
the person cutting his leg, they just showed his reaction. It
God.
was like that. It was a lot of
Wait, with what? In regards to what? Like, give me an example from the movie.
Let's say there was one moment where all the Jews were walking in single file, not single file, but in bunches, and they were walking into the gas chambers, and you just saw someone pouring the actual powder in for the gas, and you saw one of the SS soldiers next to a door, and you didn't hear anything, and all of a sudden the SS soldier moved a little like cover thingy for a peephole. So he like moved it over, and he looked inside, and when he moved it over, you all of a sudden like heard the screams of the Jews raise up, and it was just all of them screaming, and the SS soldier looked in and went like, and then just let it go, and then said, "Take a look, you're gonna have to get used to this." And then the other person like looked over and was almost visibly sick, and he said, "It's all right, they're Jews." Like, it was crazy.
Did you ever see The Boy in Striped Pajamas?
No, I haven't. Why?
I won't ruin it for you. That ending, man. That ending.
Okay. But yeah, and also one of the things was that this movie really broke down your resolve. It made you feel like he felt, because they had this character who had a fighting spirit, and he just wanted to stand up to them and release people, and he did. He started releasing people, but little by little, you started seeing that these people were vicious. And when I say vicious, I mean they would just shoot everyone. You couldn't do anything. It was one of those things where, you're the one dissenting voice. It's always the thing where it's like, if I was in their position, I would have stood up, or I will stand up for the good of everyone. And you just saw that the Jews were like, "Why are you doing this?" Boom. It was just, it was too much. It was too much. It was to the point where, like, halfway through the movie, when he was starting to give up, I was starting to give up. I was starting to say, there's nothing you can do. There's no road you can take that is not going to lead to you dying. There is none. It was too much.
How'd he get out alive?
Do you want me to spoil it for you?
I might see it. So don't.
Don't worry. It's a historical movie, so you know he made it out alive. But yeah, it was one of those things where it was too much. It did really push the Nazis are ruthless kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it also had a lot of real life characters. This is all true story kind of thing. And it had a lot of the real life characters that were SS commanders and stuff like that, but were also not wanting to kill Jews. And it was really cool. It was, I don't know, once again, it was really refreshing. And that's really how I can describe it. Refreshing. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, there you go. That would be my review. I would recommend it for the people that are interested in this kind of stuff, in World War II kind of things. It's not a.
Will it be on Netflix someday?
Probably. I don't think it's a movie that's for everyone, but at the same time, it's an enjoyable movie. It is.
Okay.
Oh, but wait a second. Before anything, what really ground my gears was the fact that all of the explosion special effects were so bad. And okay, they were so bad for me, who's done compositing before in explosions and other things like that for special effects, because the explosions would explode, and they, dirt would shoot up into the air and then land on the ground, almost fakely on the ground, and then it would cut over, and it would cut to something else, and then you'd see where the thing had exploded, and there was no hole, and there was no debris. Almost all of the explosions were fake. Yeah, and they were added in post production, and I get it. It was a low budget film, I suppose, but at the same time, work harder because that takes away from it. The explosions look weirdly fake, at least to me. And there were certain sections that definitely looked like green screen, but it's all right. 65 to 70%.
Speaking of green screen, I saw The Maze Runner.
Oh, you did? Whoa. We're going to talk about that next week because I really want to watch it.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Can I just give... It's a good movie. You should go see it. That's my one sentence review. Okay. It's way better than the book.
Okay, so I'm going to watch it this week for the podcast. Right. We're gonna watch it. It's okay. All right.
Can I say... A sequel has already been announced, so.
Oh, I figured, yeah. Okay, so anyway, we are moving on to our Netflix movie spotlight. Totally not sponsored by Netflix. Yes, and it
Ever.
is. Hey, have hope.
Nymphomaniac 3, the Nymphoning.
So the movie is Upside Down. On IMDb, it's got a 6.4 rating. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 27 with a 24% top critic score. And on Metacritic, it's got a 45%. It is directed by Juan Solanas, and it stars Jim Sturgis, Kirsten Dunst, Timothy Spall, Blue Mancuma, Nicholas Rose, James Kidney. Whoa, his last name's Kidney. And a bunch of other people. So
It could be Kidney.
yeah, Kidney. Kidney, that's good. Kidney. Yeah, so anyway, Cognitive Gamer, what is your one sentence review?
Who in this room likes Kirsten Dunst? Let me see your hands.
I'm raising my hand.
No one. No one. No one likes Kirsten Dunst.
I was raising
No
my
one.
hand.
Not a single person. No one likes Kirsten Dunst. I think this movie is Upside Down is wasted potential for an amazing concept and stunning visuals, and it had a shit story.
Okay, so my one sentence review is certain moments that were really well crafted, the rest were not. I don't know what I expected, but it is an amazing idea for a movie.
A rom-com was not what I was expecting.
It was an amazing idea for a movie, but it was
Yeah, totally.
somewhat squandered. Okay, so
No, the visuals were phenomenal.
weren't they? Weren't
Yeah.
they? It
Yeah.
was such a beautiful movie.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Wondorium of Dr.
Imaginarium
Whatever.
of Dr. Parnassus.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Like this amazingly visually stunning film, but just a crap story.
Yeah, the story was all right and decent and stuff. I just think if they would have eliminated the people who were just there to provide backstory, like they could have eliminated the aunt section. They could have eliminated certain really dumb characters overall, like the people that he was working with in his shop in the oil area. They could have eliminated all these groups of people and still had a really good and really crazy story. I did enjoy the art style in the beginning with the narrative. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was almost like a fairy tale, right?
It
Like that's the way it was
was.
displayed at the beginning.
It was.
And I think I think it should have kept with that instead of devolving into some weird. It stopped being a fairy tale, and
Yeah.
it started being this weird reality. It kind of reminded me of Paycheck,
AJ?
which is like a Memento ripoff, essentially.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know.
Which I don't know why it reminded me of that. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It reminded me of a movie that didn't fit the beginning, and maybe like The Island. The Island, Michael Bay. It was about like the island. It's about a bunch of people that are there just to be harvested for their organs,
Yeah.
and then they have to escape.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was, right? Like it went this fairy tale, really cool, stunning visuals, to just absolute stupidity with her getting amnesia, and oh, that was just so bad.
It's just it was such a wonderful premise, and it was my favorite kind of premise too. Because if you're a listener of this podcast, you know that I detest it when people try and explain sci-fi. No, in this movie they did it perfectly and exactly how I would want it to be done. They basically said, in this world, it's a double world, and they're both together orbiting the same star. The gravities of each one attract all of the matter on each one, and they all have different types of matter. And there's 3 rules, and they laid out the rules for you for the universe, and from there, they kept going. And that is...
Which made absolutely no sense.
It didn't! The rules made no sense, but...
That's why it seemed like a fairy tale,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. The rules made no sense, but that was okay, because they told you how it worked in that universe, and that is okay. Like, they said, this is how it works. They didn't say, this is how it works and why. They just said, this is how it works. It's matter. Done. And that was awesome.
I agree. I think the premise is fantastic. I thought the cinematography was awesome.
It was.
I thought a lot of the scenes were a lot of fun. Just a really bad story combined with some mediocre action, and
there were also some moments where they were running around and you didn't know how they got to this one place because you didn't have an accurate visual of how far away certain things were. You know?
Yeah.
Did it ever feel that way?
A little bit.
Because like
I mean, it must have been really hard to film this movie.
oh yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, even just the scene where he's in Bob's, like, garage?
Yeah.
Or basement?
Yeah.
And he's on the ceiling, upside down, sitting there, and Bob's walking. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
This
like
thing I'm watching right here is amazing.
right. The way that they filmed all of the scenes with people that were upside down walking, and all of the weird technologies that they had to do to fix the
Except for the one with his boss with the notebook, and she like hands it to him, and she goes to the corner of the screen, and then it cuts to him grabbing it with like a corner of the screen, and I'm like, that is just so cheesy.
Yeah.
That's just so poorly done. And I'm just imagining there's like a camera guy or something with like a notebook, like hanging off the side, handing it to him. And I'm like, oh, this is dumb. This is really dumb.
Yeah, there were some things that were like that, but overall the movie was awesome. Like the visuals and stuff. Okay, not the movie necessarily, but the visuals
I know what you mean.
and the crazy. It's just
Okay, spoilers.
okay.
I missed that. How was she able to stay on one planet?
Because she was pregnant with a baby, and with his baby, and it essentially did what the lotion that he was making, that little liquid that he was making, what that liquid did. It was a baby that could make her float because it was from both worlds.
That's so stupid. That's what I thought it was, and I'm like, ugh.
But there was a really weird jump right there, like crazy into the future, and it didn't even say anything about it.
Yeah, it's true.
And in the beginning, they did say stuff. They said like 13 years later or whatever, like they let you know how long it had been since whatever event happened, and that's the same thing that they should have done when they
like
made that jump in the end.
The ending all seemed rushed, right? Like they were like, we need a conclusion.
Yeah.
How about Bob bought the patent to now they're millionaires and she's pregnant so he can stay on whatever. Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, and they were totally priming it for like a sequel too. They basically, it zoomed out and they were like, but that's a story for another time. And I was like,
upside down too?
Exactly.
Right side up?
Yeah.
And this is not a sequel to Sideways, by the way.
No, it's not. But yeah, it's sad because it almost, a little bit of the movie really reminded me of the Wachowski siblings.
Yeah.
The really, like the really fantastic special effects, but mixed in with people really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just very crazy like that.
You want to know what actress I don't like? Kirsten Dunst.
Really? Why don't you like Kirsten Dunst?
Jumanji, actually.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
Jumanji is pretty great. I enjoyed Jumanji.
She's okay. She's not amazing.
No, she's not amazing, obviously. She's a child actor, but... Melancholia.
I never saw that.
I believe it's a Lars von Trier movie, actually.
It is. I hated Spider-Man. Her as Mary Jane. I thought that was stupid.
Really? I thought she was a good Mary Jane.
Mona Lisa's smile. Ugh. She was good as Mary in Eternal Sunshine.
She was, yeah.
Wimbledon was stupid. Elizabethtown was stupid. Claire Antoinette was stupid. How to Lose Friends and Alienate People was stupid. It's just...
Alright, okay. You hate Kirsten Dunst. I get it. It's okay.
I don't hate her. I just don't think she's amazing. It's not like she just pisses me off.
Right.
Just a little bit, I guess. She's just so... Her acting is wood. She acts like wood.
What does that even mean?
No emotion. Just zero emotion. Go get him, Tiger. And then, that's the ending quote to Spider-Man, by the way.
Okay, so how could Upside Down have been improved?
A new story, a completely new story.
Well, then
like you could still have the love story, but get rid of the weird amnesia. Get rid of like him trying to win her over.
Make it a legitimate Romeo and Juliet kind of thing.
Not even, just get rid of Kirsten Dunst. Fucking. Imagine The Raid mixed with Upside Down.
Holy mother of God.
Exactly. Fucking exactly.
Could you imagine the crazy technical aspects of that? How insane it would be.
Oh, that would be so cool. Like he throws a knife to somebody down below and it like kills him, and then like he like does a jump kick but it hits somebody's face who's right side up. And then he like kicks back down and like stabs somebody who's on his level.
Or he like throws a knife really high up and it like spins and like bends downward and parabolas to somebody else or something like that.
And there's like a button that switches gravity, so he hits that and everybody switches places. So this is what I mean.
This
What a fucking
would be really great for an action movie. It really would.
Yeah, exactly. Or I don't know, maybe like a detective story, like a murder story.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That'd be awesome.
Like, what? Oh my god, a detective story or something where the person is floating in between the worlds.
Yeah, and like, he has to like figure out how he's doing it, and it ended up being this mad scientist that discovered that like he can have like this matter to travel between worlds, but this detective has to deal with it because he's like in the upper level, but he has to deal with this murder of an upper level lady that came from the lower level. Boom! I wrote a better story.
These stories, we have written so many sequels and so many movies in this podcast. They write themselves, people. They write themselves.
But God, it could have been a coming of age story about a kid who grows up on the bottom level and like in love with the girl on the upper level, and at the end figures out he can never love her. And it's directed by Wes Anderson.
Boyhood over 12 years.
It's directed by Wes Anderson.
Oh my god.
Exactly. And you have people like dancing off screen that like go off screen and then they come back on screen, but they're on the top.
Oh my god. That is, okay, you went full ridiculous on that one.
But seriously, like any other movie would have been better. Maybe not a comedy.
You know what one scene that I really enjoyed was when he took off all of the shoes and threw away some of the material and stuff and flew out from the ocean and landed in the ocean on the other side.
That was pretty cool.
Oh, there were some really great moments in this movie. Really great.
It had to be more about the visuals than it was about the story. Like every single positive about this movie was the visual.
Could you imagine taking the visuals of this movie, mixing it with Life of Pi, and in a giant raid sandwich? How amazing would that have been?
What the fuck would that be?
That would be amazing, is what it would be. All right. Anyway, so
Rate of Pi.
The Raid of Pi. Oh
The
my
Raid
god,
of
that actually sounds.
Pi Raid.
That sounds like a great movie, The Raid of Pi. But like,
Oh my god, how about Pirates? How about Pirates of the Caribbean with 2 worlds?
oh my god, yeah.
At World's End.
At the world's end. Oh my.
It's another world.
Oh, there's another. What?
Yep.
These movies write themselves.
Writes itself.
So, would you recommend this movie to someone?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you get really high.
I think this movie would kill you if you get really high.
You just make some pop brownies and then you watch Upside Down, and that's an evening.
Okay. All right. So new to DVD and Blu-ray and theaters this week.
I give it a 6.0.
A 6.0? Yeah, I think I would give it around there. Yeah, I don't think it's a 27 on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think so. It was enjoyable. It was decently enjoyable. So I
wasn't there. I fucking give it like an 8.9 point. I'm just kidding.
All right.
Kirsten, I give it a 4.5.
I'm thinking a 6.0. Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's funny because in the alternate universe that would be like a 9 because it's upside down.
So new to DVD and Blu-ray this week we have The Fault in Our Stars, Godzilla, Think Like a Man 2 with 2 written T-O-O, Elo, casting by Borgman and Captain America: The Winter Soldier. In theaters this week.
It hasn't been on DVD yet?
I don't think so, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like it came out forever ago.
Yeah. So in theaters this week, we got The Maze Runner, which the Cognitive Gamer saw. We have This Is Where I Leave You, A Walk in the Tombstones, The Guest, Tusk.
Taken for
Tusk.
I know. I want to see that too.
Is it near you? Is it somewhere near you?
I can check right now.
Okay, so while I read these last ones, you can check and let us know. So in limited release, we have the Zero Theorem tracks. 20,000 Days on Earth, Keep On Keepin' On, Hector and the Search for Happiness, Hump, and Stop the Pounding Heart. So it's a giant week for theaters, mostly because there's a lot of movies, not necessarily because of the quality of them. But hey, you take what you can get. I will probably be watching The Maze Runner and or Tusk, and we will be talking about one of those two or both of them next week. So we will see. Have you found anything, Cognitive Gamer?
It doesn't look like Tusk.
Yeah, so we're probably not going to be watching Tusk. Anyway, moving on to news. So breaking news. We have a release date for Deadpool. Woo! Sadly, it's rumored that it's going to be a PG-13 movie.
Who's excited for another Wolverine's Origins? Woo!
How are you going to take a character like Deadpool that loves to curse, loves to gratuitously kill people, like pulls off or lets himself get beaten up and dismembered and stuff, only to grow back? How are you going to do that in a PG-13 way? unless he's self-aware that it's PG-13 and he goes like, we got to keep it like PG-13 for the kids or something like that.
Maybe he just bleeps it out.
Yeah, it's got to be rated R. It's like we got the good news that Deadpool was going to get made, which is really cool. And then we got the bad news that it's going to be a PG-13 movie. Like, Hollywood can't do anything right.
But he's in the Marvel Universe, correct?
Yes.
That's why.
But still.
Disney's not going to make a rated R movie.
It's
Disney will not make a rated R movie.
Deadpool in the Marvel Universe is a potty mouth. It's.
Is Disney making this movie?
I don't know. I don't know if they are though, but still, like.
Or does
it's Fox. Sorry, it's a spin-off from the X-Men. So.
Yeah, it's 20th Century Fox. It'd be even worse if Ryan Reynolds still plays him.
No, I think Ryan Reynolds would do a really good job. He's the one that did the mocap and stuff like that for him. As long as he's wearing the mask, I don't care. As long as I don't see that it's Ryan Reynolds, it's okay.
Yeah, but Ryan Reynolds was already Deadpool in Wolverine, and that was terrible.
Well, that's because they ruined his character in Wolverine.
Yeah.
Point is, okay, so next also is the fact that they shifted around a lot of stuff. It's the fact that they took Assassin's Creed off of the 2015 movie slot and moved the Fantastic Four rebate into the date that Assassin's Creed was in. So Fantastic Four the reboot will now be showing, or at least premiering, on August 7th, 2015. They didn't set a new date for Assassin's Creed, so that might be good or it might be bad news. They also moved Paper Towns, which is the adaptation of John Green's novel, to June 19th, 2015.
Wait, what movie? Looking for Alaska?
Paper Towns.
Really? Paper Towns?
Yeah, they're doing Paper Towns.
That one kind of sucks, though, doesn't it?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't read it, so we'll see. But anyway, moving on to other news, and the next bit of news that we have is the fact that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is trying to get a role as Edward Snowden in an Oliver Stone biopic about Edward Snowden.
Man, that's going to be really boring because it's just going to be Snowden at a computer in a coffee shop in Russia.
I know, right? Like, that's basically it. But, I mean, it's cool. I'm pretty sure that Joseph Gordon-Levitt would be able to do a good job about it. I mean, I guess. But
yeah, I love Jason.
Joseph.
I love Joe.
Wow.
I love him so much, I get his name wrong.
All right, but anyway, next bit of news is that Bryan Singer is definitely for surezies going to be directing X-Men Apocalypse, which is...
And we should also mention all those charges of him touching underage people is been dropped. So.
Yes, exactly. It's been dropped. So that doesn't mean that he didn't do it, but
it doesn't mean that he didn't do it or did do it. So
exactly. Yeah.
But back at our beginning.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, the point is awesome. I would love to see Bryan Singer directing it because X-Men Days of Future Past was amazing. So that's pretty damn great. Anyway, next bit of news is that Matt Damon and Paul Greengrass are trying to do a 2016 remake, or not remake, but a reboot or another spin-off of the Bourne series. And how do you feel about that, Cognitive Gamer?
I like the Bourne series. It's like a modern James Bond almost.
Yeah, but I think they brought it to a close and it's fine, you know?
Well, I mean, they had the one with Hawkeye in it, and that was okay.
It was fine.
Yeah, I said it was okay. I never said it was amazing.
Yeah, they're trying to get a script done as soon as possible, but really, we don't know when it'll be coming out. But it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's run its course. You know what I mean?
I'd rather see Matt Damon in a new role.
Yeah, one where he just screams, man, yeah, man, the entire time. Would be cool.
That's every movie. That's
that is every movie.
The only difference between that and a Bourne is that the camera's really shaky in a Bourne film.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right. So, moving on to our next and last bit of news, unless you have some, is that Marvel is starting to shoot Doctor Strange to try and release it summer 2016. So Doctor Strange...
And who's playing Doctor Strange?
Probably going to be Joaquin Phoenix.
Woo!
That was weird. So, yeah. So basically, it's seeming like they're maybe going to release it June 8th, 2016. So we will see. And basically, the director is maybe going to be Scott Derrickson. And he is the guy from Deliver Us from Evil and Sinister. So an interesting director for Doctor Strange. It might get really creepy and really crazy, which would be actually really cool. But apparently, this movie itself is not going to be an origin story. It's going to be Doctor Strange where he already has his powers. So, yeah, it should be interesting. I am actually kind of intrigued by the premise of this movie and by the idea behind it. So we will see what's going on with that. Anyway, any other news from your end, Cog Games?
X-Men Apocalypse said it's very unlikely that we'll be seeing the original X-Men cast.
Really?
So it's going to focus on the first class cast, as this story takes a good 20 years before the first X-Men movie.
But then, how are they? So we already know that they're all still alive. Or most of the cast is still alive, because we saw them at the end of Days of Future Past.
We don't know about Magneto and Mystique, and we don't know
That's
about...
true. We just know a lot of the normal ones, and also Cyclops.
Yeah, we also don't know about First Class,
Yeah.
so
That's true.
it's actually very open.
That's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
They do have a very strong cast for.
Yeah,
for
I think
First
so.
Class. So
Yeah.
it should work out really well. But I'll be damned if Days of Future Past wasn't amazing because it had both of those. Like, it was essentially like a cacophony of phenomenal actors in one movie. It was crazy.
Everybody but Kevin Bacon.
I liked Kevin Bacon, man.
Guardians is the fourth highest grossing Marvel pick.
Really? Behind which ones? I'm assuming the first of the series, like Iron Man and
Probably the Avengers.
the Avengers, yeah.
So it just beat out Iron Man 2. Only Avengers, Iron Man 3, and Iron Man have been higher.
Gotcha. That makes sense, actually. Iron Man's a very popular series. So
And the third one I knew made gangbusters.
yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense. And it's nice because Guardians of the Galaxy was a fantastic movie.
Saw is officially 10 years old.
Man, really?
Yep.
I remember when I first saw Saw. I was so impressed by that first movie. It was a great film noir style, gritty movie.
VHS Viral comes out soon.
Oh, so it's the new VHS? Fantastic. We're gonna get to see more really freaking weird ass stuff.
And I love that crap.
We're probably gonna be having a Netflix movie spotlight about it, I'm assuming.
Probably.
All right.
Star Trek 3 starts shooting soon. Paranormal Activity 5. Star Trek 3 starts filming soon.
Right, yeah, and I heard that it's actually the Power Rangers. One of the Power Rangers people got stolen from Power Rangers to work on Star Trek 3 or something like that. So,
Something like that.
yeah. But which I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't you? You know, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you go for
Fuck Power Rangers.
exactly?
Yeah. Paranormal Activity 5 is delayed until 2015.
Good.
Which is weird because it was already delayed once. Because it was so last Halloween we never got Paranormal Activity 5. Instead we got Paranormal Activity the marked ones, and then Paranormal Activity 4 was supposed to come out like that February, like a couple months apart. And then it got pushed to October, and now it's being pushed again to 2015 with March 23rd release date. It's now called Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension, which is a WTF.
In a March release date?
Yeah.
That's really weird.
So not only has it been
competing?
pushed...
Wait. Doesn't that put it into like competition range with Batman versus Superman?
2015?
Yeah. I think Batman versus Superman comes out in April 6th.
Yeah, the Transporter Legacy. Cinderella?
Oh yeah, the Cinderella. I think it's an animated movie actually, like computer animated or something like that. It might be live action. It's probably going to be one of those. The bad guy was good all along.
You have Divergent Insurgent.
Gross.
And then you have a comedy called Home. So no, there is nothing in March.
Well, what I'm saying is that Batman vs Superman is coming out.
I think that's 2016
in April something. Nope, Batman v Superman is 2015 April. But anyway, yeah. So
no, it's not.
It does. Yes, it is. Look,
it's not.
Look, do you want to bet? I bet you a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that it is.
All right.
It's on.
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, Friday, March 25th, 2015. 2016. Sorry, 2016.
2016?
Yes.
No, what? That's way too far away.
I know! It's not out until 2016.
Why are we getting all of these pictures and all these rumors and all these people? So soon.
Mindshare, man. Mindshare.
Oh, fine. You get an extra pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
You could just send me the original one.
This is the first time, let it be known, this is the first time that I've lost a bet in the podcast. And it took us almost 50 episodes, so I'm going to call that a win.
Anyway, I really like Paranormal Activity. I like really, really, really like Paranormal Activity. Like almost creepily in
They're
amount.
really crappy movies, dude.
Yeah, I know, and they're like my guilty pleasure. I like horror movies, and I think Paranormal Activity is they're very unique. The third one, you can't tell me the third one was not completely unique and awesome.
The third one was decently unique. It wasn't complete.
It was like in the 80s and a complete departure.
Yeah, but still, it was what?
It was clever, like for that genre.
For what it was clever. Sure, I'll give you that.
Right. The first one was like an indie baby, and it was great. The second one was meh. Third one was amazing. Fourth one was eh. I don't even remember the fourth one. Besides, at the end, she returns and murders everybody.
Which is what
And they go to
basically
that weird
happened in the second one.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So anyway, we're done. So
The Ghost Dimension.
So we will see everyone next week. I'm Kulguy. He's the Cognitive Gamer. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRightPad or him on Twitter at Cognitive Gamer. You can check us out on Facebook if you want to see trailers, movie news, announcements from our YouTube channel, or just from us, or write into us at Facebook with comments, critiques, suggestions, or email us at postgradentertainment@gmail.com. As I mentioned before, we also have YouTube, which you can access through youtube.com/user/postgradent, or look for PostGrad Games, where we have videos of us playing games and talking and being inane and stupid and funny. And we also have our old podcasts up there. You can also access this whole thing through the Facebook in little tabs. It says YouTube, which is pretty neat. Our podcast is found on Podomatic and on iTunes, so you can subscribe there. And yeah.
I have one question. What is Tim Burton's Big Eyes? I'm looking at a Facebook.
Tim Burton's Big Eyes is the movie that I told you about where it was the really creepy painter that painted people with really big eyes.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah. So if you want to see that trailer, it's up on our Facebook right now when it came out. As soon as trailers come out, I make sure to try and put them on there. So,
if you would like to join my Destiny clan, it is called Oprah's Book Club. Our motto is think like a queen is not afraid to fail.
Wow.
In the About section, it is passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. Turn your wounds into wisdom, and you get an engram, and you get an engram. Everybody gets an engram! So, yeah.
All right.
So, if you want to join that, I'm posting it on our Facebook as we speak.
We're going to see everyone next week, okay? We'll see you next week. On our 50th episode. Woo!
Woo! What are we going to do for it?
I don't know, something awesome, so tune in.